everybody. Once again, I'm Rachel, and once again, this is John. And we are, once again, the hosts of The Four Show.
The Four Show.
F-O-R.
F-O-R. So The Four Show is a weekly YouTube show to help you be more for the people in your life because we believe that Jesus is for us. So last week in the series You're Not Far, John said that the past reminds us, but it doesn't have to define us. And as he always does, he challenged us to just kind of take that into our week and think about it a lot. So did you do that? Because last week you talked about your past.
A little bit.
And you gave us just a little tiny glimpse into it. So did you think about like your past at all?
Yeah, I think about it a lot.
Well, it doesn't have to define you, Rachel.
I know.
It doesn't have to define you. So I hear.
So, you wouldn't know. Andy Griffith. Basically, when I was 16, I started dating a guy. We dated for 7 years. Like, too long. That relationship was very unhealthy. And it should have ended way sooner than it did, hindsight. And because of that, it often makes me question, like, where would my life be if I would have walked away when I should have? When it was healthy to walk away.
Like the what if game.
Yeah, you kind of can get lost in that.
Yeah.
But if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be who I am as a person now. I wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't have my husband and my children.
Yep.
So it's kind of hard to regret it when I have what I have now because of it.
Yeah.
So it kind of made me who I am and kind of made me coin the term past is practice. And that's how I like to think of it.
Yeah.
Love it.
So much so that you tattooed it on yourself.
I did tattoo it on myself.
Oh, cool. The past is practice.
Past is practice.
So yeah, that was last week, and you're not that far, or you're not far. So if you didn't catch that last week, you can go back on YouTube and watch the whole,
whole series. Yep.
So this week on You're Not Far, we're going to wrap it up by talking about Easter, which is a perfect example of what Jesus really had in mind and who and what he was really for. So we're going to throw it over to Harney.
Yep. But like usual, don't go anywhere. Stay here. We have some rewards, some reminders, some recaps, all the R words I say every time.
Yep.
Hope I remembered them all. Yeah, I feel like I did.
Anyway,
Yeah. See ya. Bye.
I don't know about you, but growing up, Easter had its traditions. For me, it was a new outfit, the same meal with the same people, Easter basket. Oh, Easter basket. The church service with the same songs, same message. Which all this might be a little why I am the way that I am today. I'm not a big traditions guy. To a fault, actually. But I have to be like really honest with you here right now. I don't love Easter. At least not what Easter has become. And I know as a pastor, maybe you're expecting that, or you're expecting me to get on here or be in a building and be all about it. But the truth is, if you grew up in any religious tradition, the tradition possibly became more important than the purpose. I'm going to give you an insider secret here. That's what most pastors are banking on. In our church leader meetings, we talk about how Christmas and Easter are times that people go to church. We're actually hoping that some sort of nostalgia will kick in and will motivate you to gather up the family, get in the car, and head out to a building to sit through a service that you've more than likely predicted the end of. That's why we try things like egg hunts and big productions, expensive mailers, billboards, yard signs, I mean, you just name it. But let's be honest, it's just you and me. Nostalgia and tradition, they generally only engage a person for that 1 week. And after 1 week, The people who have been turned off or turned away or hurt by the church, they, see no need for the church. They walk away remembering why the church is so resistible. So if you're a person who struggles to believe and fully engage on Easter, I've got something to tell you that you might not have heard at a sunrise service. On the morning of what we refer to as the first Easter, no one believed. Now, this is not a joke or a setup. None of the people who had just spent 3 years with Jesus believed anymore on that first Easter. And some of them, like maybe some of you, they got up at sunrise. But for them, it was because of despair, not hope. Just days earlier, they had watched their teacher, their friend, the one that they had put their hope in, they'd watched him die. And not just die, he died a brutal execution that no one survives. Everything that they thought Jesus was, everything that they thought he was going to do, it died in their minds the moment that he died. Most of his closest followers, they scattered out of fear for their own lives. I would have too. And the few that actually remained were mourning the loss of a man that they loved so dearly. But then, as most of you know, on that first Easter morning, things changed. As the 3 women went out on that Sunday morning with the spices that they had gotten together so that they could properly anoint Jesus' body that had been placed in a tomb in a hurry on Friday evening before the Sabbath, they were walking along and they're pondering, wondering, who's going to open the tomb for them? But they found as they arrived that they didn't need to worry about that. Jesus' body was gone from the tomb. But again, this wasn't inspiring to them. They didn't have an aha moment, right at this point, that Jesus was alive. Even when an angel appeared to them and told them that Jesus was risen and to go tell everyone, the women ran away sad and scared, and they told no one. Later on, Jesus actually talks with Mary Magdalene, the first person that he talks to in person. And she goes away to tell a group of the disciples who were together that she had seen Jesus, that he was alive. But, Mark tells us, when she told them that Jesus was alive and she had seen him, they didn't believe her. And listen, I wouldn't have believed her either, and neither would have you. They had to be thinking, did you see what just happened to him a few days ago? These guys are sad and mad simultaneously. Jesus is dead, and now his body has been stolen. And listen, at first, his followers, Jesus' followers and friends, they thought that this was a political move that the body was missing. They thought that the rulers had ordered his body to be taken. And on the other side of the story, when the rulers of the area and the religious rulers heard about Jesus' body missing, they thought that Jesus' followers had taken his body to try to create a coup. Now, can you imagine if they had had Twitter? The fake news reports fighting, hashtags, blaming each other, making crazy statements and false accusations. Absolutely no one on that morning was believing. Everybody was blaming. And what changed it for the believers wasn't more stories. Hearing was not believing. Having more faith didn't help anyone. For them, and it would have been the same, and maybe it is the same for us, seeing was believing. For Mary Magdalene and for everyone else. Mark goes on to tell us that afterward, he appeared in a different form to 2 of his followers who were walking from Jerusalem into the country. And they rushed back to tell others, but no one believed them. And still later on, he appeared to the 11 disciples as they were eating together, and he rebuked them for their stubborn unbelief because they refused to believe those who had seen him after he had been raised from the dead. And listen, he rebuked them not out of anger, not out of spite, and not because of him, that they didn't believe him, but because they thought that all their friends were just crazy or that they were out of their minds with grief. And this leads us to the church, but not what you know about the church today. Because listen, the church was never meant to be book heavy, attendance dependent, on a time and a place organizations. And none of that's wrong, but it was never meant to be just that. The church, which is actually supposed to be the followers in the way of Jesus, were meant to be a group of people who believed that Jesus' way of living was the best way of living. They were meant to go and tell people about the full life that following Jesus offers. It was never meant to be relegated to a time and a place like a Sunday morning at a building and something safe and easy. This movement was meant to be every day in every place, in our homes, in our neighborhoods, through our hobbies and restaurants and workplaces, everywhere. In fact, Jesus goes on in this Mark, where Mark is writing, and he tells them this. He tells them to go into the whole world, taking the message of life with Jesus with them. And eventually, men like Mark and Matthew and John and Luke and Peter, they wrote down all the teachings of Jesus. Paul then comes along, and he encourages these people who are starting to live this life, becoming the Jesus followers, to keep going. And he corrects some of their missteps when they get off track. And generations later, some men took these letters and historical writings and they bound them together and they called them the Bible. And I'm here to tell you today, on Easter 2021, barely post-pandemic, that the event of the resurrection led to a movement which led to the Bible being written. And it's important to remember it in that order. Because if we let all this fall into just traditional remembrances, we've missed the point. If we get this sequence out of order, we can create confusion for ourselves and for others. Because listen, something happened. Jesus died. People saw it happen. But the story didn't end there. He came back from death, and people saw him. And those people wrote it down because they knew how hard it would be to believe. But close to 2,100 years later, we're still talking about it. And when we grasp this all-important historical narrative, that Jesus is for you, no matter where you are with him, it can change your outlook on life. To illustrate this, we're going to tell you a story of a changed life this week. And my challenge is a little bit different this week. I want you, if you're interested in hearing someone else's perspective, I want you to watch for a social media post or a subscription update if you've subscribed to our YouTube channel coming this Wednesday for that story. Because I believe, no matter where you are in your journey of discovery of Jesus, that this Easter 2021, that I don't think that you're very far.
Welcome back, everybody. John, I really liked that little reminder he gave us that it was the event of the resurrection that led to a movement, which led to the Bible being written.
Yeah. And, Easter becomes like one of those holidays that's a lot about tradition. Mm-hmm. And tradition is great. I love tradition, personally. I love the outfits, candy, food.
Yeah.
Any reason to just get together and have a big meal with family is fun for me. But tradition sometimes has the danger of just turning into repetition. And when it's repetition for tradition's sake, it can take away from the purpose. And the purpose stays the same whether tradition's there or not. And it's really, it's for everyone.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree for sure. Because we're not celebrating the story. We're celebrating the event that made it a story to be written down as history. And what a great way to talk about that further with other people who probably want to talk about it more with you is our circles.
Yeah, our circles. You can talk
you
about...
would hope they want to talk about it with you.
Yeah, you can talk about that in
or
our
other
circles.
things. You can talk about whatever you want. It's a circle.
Yeah.
So our circles are continuing. And
second quarter.
Yep, second
circles.
quarter circles. Well, they're continuing into the second quarter, but the second quarter has just started or is about to just start. That's how that works.
Yes.
They're still going though. So we have the women's circle.
6:30 to 8 p.m. at the Coffee Hub. They have coffee there.
In the Beaver Creek Coffee Hub.
Beaver Creek Coffee Hub.
I always forget there's more than one.
Yeah.
Because I always go to the same one. So.
But there's only one.
There is only one that the women's circle is going to be
women's
at.
circle. And that's the Beaver Creek Coffee Hub.
And then we have the couples circle, and they're doing a 10-week focus on love and respect.
Yep.
I'm excited about that.
And that's at a cute little house.
Just a little yellow house.
Cute little yellow house that Rachel lives at.
Over there.
And that's 7 to 8:30 on Wednesdays.
Wednesdays, yep. And then, of course, the dudes.
The dudes.
Dudes.
Yep. And that's going to be 6:30 on Fridays.
Yep.
And we're just going to focus on just building relationships and just doing guy stuff.
Building things.
Yeah, we might build some stuff. We might just sit around and talk.
I think it was funny that Harney said basically all the guys that come to the guys' night all love doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the perfect little way for them to get together and share in a fun thing.
So that's Fridays at 6:30 p.m. So yeah. We also have events coming up, or an event coming up,
just one.
which is on April 28th. And we're going to do a family hike at John Bryan State Park. Have you been there?
I have never been there.
It's pretty good. They have like trails for like regular hikers, but then they also have this thing for little kids. It's called like Storybook Trail, and it's really cute. So we're going to encourage you to pack a lunch for the whole family. So we're all going to hike together and then meet for lunch.
Yeah.
And
just hang out.
Share lunch together. So pack a lunch, bring your whole family, bring your friends.
And all of this information can be found on the website, bridgedayton.com. Not Bridge Church Dayton. You might find something different.
Yeah.
Don't do that. bridgedayton.com.
Yep.
And the Church Center app. And that's where, both of those where you can do your giving too.
Yep.
Because your giving is very important to us. We appreciate it. We love it. We love you. It helps us be for you, for Dayton. And it helps us with our rewards.
Our giveaways,
Which is what we're doing right now.
Yeah, so we have another one. Another giveaway this week, and it's springtime.
Yes.
So we have to maybe do some stuff in our yards.
We have to?
We don't have to.
Okay.
We get to.
Don't put that pressure on me.
Yeah, we get to do flowers and
to do flowers,
plants and trees and bushes and.
So this time we're doing a little bit different. We're going to do a $10 gift card. $10.
10.
And it's going to be at the Knollwood Garden Center in Beaver Creek, which is actually right down from the coffee hut.
Which is where the women's circle is.
It's so convenient.
It's crazy.
They're all together like that.
Yeah.
I wonder if they do that on purpose.
I don't know. Well, we're for our community.
We're for Beaver Creek, it seems.
Yeah. So Sunday afternoon, we'll post on social media about the giveaway, and it's the same old story. Click like to enter yourself to win. Tag someone that you're for to give them a chance to win.
There's got to be someone you know that loves to do gardening and outdoorsy things. So
I hear you're
I'm
growing
sure they'd
some
appreciate
grass
it.
finally.
We're trying to. I wouldn't say it's that successful, but it's getting there. That winner will be chosen on Wednesday.
Yeah. Cool.
Hope your person wins. Anyways.
Yeah, so before you go, you can click subscribe so that you don't miss any of these videos. And as always, I encourage you to go back and watch some if you didn't catch them. You can also subscribe to our podcast if you're more of an audio person. Leave a comment, give us a like, and go be for someone in your life.
Dandy.
I had a brain fart there for a second.
I just have like 12, so you can have the one. Glad the fan's on.
So many brain farts in here.
John's face is like.